G'day, AJ Mahari here. On borderline personality, for those who have borderline personality, and guess what? You really can fully recover. Yeah, you can. Don't need a cure. Let's get into it. For people with BPD, so on the topic of borderline personality disorder, but this video for people with BPD. Why? Well, because I've been working with people with borderline personality disorder. I don't like to say the disorder part, but borderline personality, whatever that's supposed to mean, for over 30 years now. And I recovered from BPD in 1995. And yes, it's a full recovery. Unlike a lot of people on YouTube and online, even with BPD today, are saying, oh, you can't be cured. Well, you know, it's really about understanding a few things, first of all, that no one can save or fix you but you. So that's kind of like maybe the scary, difficult news. But the good news is, well, people like me out here, I can really help you. I've been helping people recover from BPD, like I said, for 30 years and recover fully. And I'm going to have lots more coming on what that actually means. And it's not just me who says what it means. I have information that I know from my own personal experience in recovery and solid recovery and not having any, quote, BPD traits or symptoms left in my life for the last, almost 30 years of my life now. So what's important to know here, if you have borderline personality disorder, if you see other videos on my channel, well, I'm going to try now to put videos. I'm not going to try, I'm going to do it. I'm going to have videos for people with BPD who might, whether you want to work with me or not, up on another channel. So I'm going to link below where that channel is, and you can subscribe. There's really nothing there right now, but I don't know. I'd like to hear back from you guys with BPD. If you feel comfortable coming to this main channel of mine to see these videos, or how do loved ones feel about me putting them on this channel when I've been doing both all these years, both sides of BPD, so to speak, it might be good to separate them. So please let me know what you think in the comments. No one can save or fix you but you. Nobody can rescue you. This is true. What also is very true, and you're going to hear this from a lot of psychiatry or even a lot of psychologists or mental health professionals, which I happen to be a mental health professional, aside from being a coach, a life coach, and a BPD recovery coach, and I work with loved ones, etc. But I'm passionate, compassionate, and very empathic to people with borderline personality disorder. I was there once. And not only have I recovered fully from BPD, but I've had other people with BPD in my life before. I mean, my mother, BPD, covert NPD, other relatives, etc. Another relationship I won't mention right now. And of course, recently, the last 4.5 years of my life or so, I was with someone who had quiet BPD, and I didn't know it. So I'm very familiar with both sides, and I'm very compassionate to both sides. That, last December, I found out, I didn't know that my partner had quiet BPD, but I had a pretty darn good relationship with a person who was quiet borderline for almost about 4.5 years. And she took her life last December. And so if you think that I'm just talking about against people with BPD, nothing could be further from the truth, because I still very much am grieving my partner's taking her life. She was an amazing person, and people with BPD have lots of amazing qualities, and not all people with BPD are the same at all. And so I really do fully understand both sides of borderline personality, what people with it go through, though not everybody's the same, and also what can happen when you're the loved one of somebody with BPD. And like in the other relationship I won't refer to right now, that was a much more abusive situation, that partner abusing me. And in this last relationship with my now late partner, she was very loving and a really multi-dimensional person. And not everybody with BPD is the same, but so I really do understand this so many experiences in my life. I'm passionate about working with both sides. And I'm just wondering about feedback as to whether I can continue to do that on the same channel. It's complicated, as you might well understand. And now back to what I was saying specifically in this video. You listen to whomever you want, but what you need to take into consideration is the fact that people are still really on the journey, people that are still, med issues, having had a lot of medication, being medicated, getting off meds, addiction problems, etc. Are they really going to help you or be able to help you? Well, they might be able to give you some interesting information, and from their experience, true. So anyway, in just a month now, I'll be 62 years old. So here's some of the information that I have for you coming, and that I also would like to hear from you. And you can always contact me at ajmahari.ca/contact with topic ideas, what you'd like to hear more about on borderline personality disorder for those of you with borderline personality. Sorry, I don't want to keep putting the disorder on it. Why? Because what borderline personality is in people's lives creates a lot of suffering and a lot of pain. And I work with people in psychodynamic, transference-focused psychotherapy to help them. Have an eclectic modality. I also do DBT skills work with people, DBT therapy with people, and other modalities. So what I'm really here to say is, no one can come, no one can save you, no one can fix you, no one can rescue you but you. What are your major obstacles, do you think? Well, obstacles for lots of people with BPD are being on too many medications, thinking that might have been the answer because a lot of people with BPD really need a lot of relief right now. There's so much pain and suffering that people think, well, this pill or that medication, or I'll just hang on till my next psychotherapy or therapist appointment or therapy appointment, or next time I see that psychiatrist is going to get that prescription pad out. And I'm not saying that people with BPD are doing that in any way that you're not really intellectually intelligent, right? So there's a difference between your intellectual intelligence and your emotional intelligence because of the very nature of why you're in the pain that you are in. Here's the thing. Too many people out there with BPD believing psychiatry's narrative that you can't recover. You can never be set free from this diagnosis of BPD. That's not true. And many mental health professionals, and I'll be bringing forth a lot of information and journal articles, etc., where what they say makes no sense. And remember, neuroplasticity answers any and all questions that they might throw out there, their ideology of it's got to do with neurology or the brain or none of that matters. Whether, I don't think they've proven a darn thing, but it doesn't matter. And when I say I've fully recovered, I really have fully recovered. Though there be some people out there some people in general and some people out there with BPD who kind of don't believe that, and they like to sling arrows and think that matters to me. So recently I've seen also come up across the internet, not across, but in places, people who are maybe say in their 30s still, which is quite young in comparison to myself. But what does that mean? Well, what comes with the fact that I not only had BPD and that I fully recovered from it, and what does that mean? I'll get into much more about that. The good news here is I really can help you. And I really do work with people with BPD, and they really do change their lives. And if it isn't full recovery, or what I define full recovery as, and many others are starting to define full recovery now, you don't need to be cured from BPD. Here's the good news. You don't need to be cured. Why? Because it's not even a mental illness. Ooh, does that sound outlandish? Does that sound crazy? Well, it's not. Because the human context of what you're going through and why is so important for you to understand. And that's part of the psychodynamic therapy that I offer, that I went through over 30 years ago now. That worked for me. We don't need psychiatry's cured. We don't need to be cured. What you need is to learn how to be able to deal with your emotions, deal with your emotional, dysregulation, the triggers. What happened to you in your childhood? How was your family history? You need to start understanding all of this in a way that can empower you. And having BPD by psychiatry's definition is really only human traits that are experienced more intensely much more frequently. And then I'm not even going to continue on psychiatry's thing there, but just to say, generally speaking, people who end up with this really crappy diagnosis, which is, yes, there's a lot to deal with if you have been diagnosed or these issues of, quote, BPD fit for you. But the bottom line is it's not pathology. It's not what they say it is. Most mental health professionals don't want to acknowledge this. Most of them don't care. It's the party line. It's Big Pharma and the American Psychiatric Association, which, yes, that's been imported to Canada. Lots of people up here with BPD now are on a cocktail of meds, etc. And then they're having to go to rehab or this or that for the other thing. That this is not easy work to do, but it's not some mysterious, unknown. There are ways to work with this, and I work with people with BPD as well as I work with people on the other side, right? So the thing is, if you're interested in more from me on BPD, which is coming anyway, I'm just trying to decide right now whether it should be on this main channel of mine or on a different channel, because I have another couple channels at my disposal I've had for quite a while. So I'll put that link down there below, and then I would really be looking for your feedback. And yeah, you might have heard me say a lot of things about people with BPD, like generally speaking, to loved ones. But believe me, there's two sides to this, and we need to build a bridge. And not everybody in their personal lives is going to be able to build a bridge, but then not everybody with BPD is hurting people who are online, who are really hurting from somebody with BPD, because you're not all the same. Nor is it what psychiatry says it is necessarily. It's not a psychopathology. It's not a pathology. It's not a personality disorder. It's okay to not be okay. Why? Because if you can radically accept that there's a reason why you're having the issues that you're having in your life. There's a reason why you're in the pain. And these issues are real. But looking at them in a humanistic context with what happened in your life is really important, instead of believing the narrative of psychiatry or these people with BPD that, frankly, I'm astonished by them online, especially the older they get. Shame on them in a way for saying that you can't be cured. It's not even. The construct of mental illness, oh, I have a lot coming, and I hope that you'll want to join me. And I'm willing to work with people with BPD on a sliding scale fee. So I want to be as accessible to you as possible. It's just time. I mean, I've been working with people with BPD. I've been working with them on a sliding scale fee as well. But I want you to know I'm out here for you. Yes, I've recovered fully. And, some people might think, well, you might be 20. You might be 23, 25, 30, 35, 36, 40. You know what? I have a lot to share. I just don't usually put it this way. But I have a tremendous amount of life experience recovering from BPD, which is possible, full recovery. Don't let the cure word fool you, because it's not even all that to begin with. It's formidable in people's lives, but the perspective through which people are hurting themselves and holding themselves back even more by thinking that you need psychiatry, by thinking that you need all these meds, etc. I didn't take any meds, and I recovered. And the other thing I just want to say quickly is I am out here for people with BPD, and I've been working extensively with loved ones, etc., all along as well. So, but I am out here for you, and I'm out here for you with the wisdom that comes with age. Okay, so that's one thing about being 61 at this current point in my life. Having recovered from BPD almost 30 years ago now, and I mean seriously, I don't have any symptoms. I don't have any traits. People online, yeah, sure. A live stream here, a thing there, where I'm a human being responding to people, trying to have some modicum of decency to not just throw people out of a live stream, for example, and dealing with people. So whatever I do, see, this is how badly stigmatized BPD is. Not to make this about me at all, because I'm doing just fine now, thank you very much, and I've been for years. But the thing is, once you have BPD, and anybody knows that in your life, and I've been online since 1995 talking about my recovery, etc. That's when I got online, when I recovered. And I was working 5 years during, I was, way coming ahead to recovery from about 1990. So I was working for 5 years offline as well with clients, which I do that as well, with BPD and various other things. I'm here for you too if you have BPD. And I'm here with a different message than you're used to hearing. But I'll tell you something. It's a freeing message. It's a normalizing your experience message. So you don't have to be all over yourself and extra hating yourself because you think you're so bad and so wrong and you have so much shame. These are the things that I help people work on and toward actual recovery, not psychiatry's idea of remittance and you still have it. And this idea that you will take a few steps forward, a couple steps back, a couple more steps forward, this is within the recovery process. And there is a recovery beyond that people get to. I did 30 years ago. I maintained it for 30 years. I think my point earlier was people online, if I if I have a response to something and maybe I'm setting a boundary or I don't agree with somebody and I say something assertively, oh, don't you know I'm a borderline again, and all this kind of stuff. Well, people throw the word around, so it's very stigmatized. And 30 years after my recovery, I'm still hearing, oh, you're borderline because this. Oh, you're borderline. From people online, not people in my life who know me. So anyway, I'm hoping that I can do these both on the same channel, but I don't know. Because I put this in the playlist and, but people are looking for different things. So anyways, I'll link the other channel below where you could subscribe. And if more people subscribe over there with BPD that want to hear more about this from me in particular, as well as whoever else you listen to, then I'll be glad to do that. I'm going to be blogging more at ajmahari.ca on BPD for people with BPD and how to actually recover and what recovery is and that this is real. Starting a podcast for on BPD for those with BPD. So I have sliding scale fee for you if you would like to work with me. And I am in Canada. But, I work with lots of clients, but I have slots open for people with BPD and sliding scale fees. And I want to make it as accessible as possible, though. It's interesting that some people who do videos and other things on this topic will say, they don't think it's right that psychologists make or mental health professionals make money treating people with BPD. Well, we have to eat too. It's what we do. It's what we have the education to do. But I hear that a lot of people with BPD are on disability or not able to work. So I'm willing to really work with you at what you can afford if you're serious about really doing this work, okay? So I'm here for people with BPD, compassionate and empathic and understanding, though it may not look like it in my other videos aimed at the other side, so to speak. So if you've been looking for help, if you've been getting therapy, if you've been taking medications, if you've been doing this stuff, but you'd really like to once and for all get through stuff, you feel like that pain is huge and you don't know what to do with it, I can really help you. So please leave your comments below if you would like to see more from me on BPD, which is coming anyway, but on another channel, or if it's okay to be on this channel, because it's both sides on this channel. Please send me an email at ajmahari.ca/contact if you're interested in the podcast that's coming. Send topic ideas or suggestions. And if you'd like to work with me, go to the same website, ajmahari.ca/contact, and contact me. If you have BPD and you want to work with me, basically email me from my website, because then we can negotiate the fees, sliding scale fees. I'm here for you. BPD recovery is possible. Nobody can rescue you, save you, change you, fix you, but you can, and I'm here to help. Take care.